College football experience, Minnesota Golden Gophers 2022 season preview episode on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network, presented by WinBet. Bet $50 at WinBet, get $200 in free bets. Bet big, win bigger with WinBet. Head over to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/winbet. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/winbet. That's WYNNBET to claim your free bets today. We're also brought to you by IPVanish. IPVanish is the official VPN of SGPN, and they're offering 70% off if you go to IPVanish.com/SGP. Once again, that is IPVanish.com/SGP. We're also brought to you by SGPN Discord. Yes, make sure to check out our new Discord server. It is the most perfect place to interact and sweat out bets with the entire, and I mean the entire SGPN crew. So just go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/discord.
Hey, what's up, you degenerate gamblers? This is Bill Burr, and you're listening to SGPN. Let it ride, baby.
Yes, yes, yes. Woo! Welcome to the college football experience. Minnesota Golden Gophers 2022 season preview episode. My name is Colby Swinging Database Dan, aka Pick Dundee. That's not a pick. This is a pick.
When Dundee happened, he was a superstar.
I smoke and I drink and I don't have stress and I'm healthy.
Oh, woo! Pick Dundee rowing the boat, rowing the boat right through all 131 college football previews. Yes, we are the college football experience. Subscribe on YouTube. Hopefully, you're watching this. If not, subscribe to wherever podcasts are found. But yes, we break down every single FBS team in the land. We've been doing this for years. This year we have 131 teams with the addition of James Madison. Solo podcast for each and every team in the land. Subscribe. Also remember, we also host the college basketball experience as we talk college hoops year round. Always fun to talk Gopher hoops. Back to the days of Bobby Jackson. Man, I love that team with Bobby Jackson. Man, that was a good team. It was a fun team. What final was that? Final Four or Elite Eight?
They were a good
Final Four. I think it's Elite Eight. I think. I don't think it was Final Four. Sam Jacobson was on that team. Man, I loved it.
Look at you dropping knowledge. Let me see if NBA draft picks. I want to see if we could dig up some great Gophers here.
Bobby Jackson. Look, and if you're wondering who that is, I am joined by my co-host. Give it up for former JMU Duke defensive back, the burrito eating, sideline kiss stealing, wheeling and dealing, PattyC in the place to be.
Hi, up. There we go. I got a few for you. Oh, Chris Humphries.
One
of many Kardashian playboys.
Yeah.
We got Joe Prisbilla.
Oh yeah, Joe Prisbilla. That was my guy.
Who else?
Kevin Lynch for the Charlotte Hornets back in the early 90s, I would say.
There you go. Yeah, you're right.
Boom.
That's right.
Lot of fun with that Gophers program. And look, it's a lot of fun talking Gophers college football. PJ Fleck doing a fantastic job. First off, shout out to the Minnesota Golden Gophers. PattyC, there comes a point, as our world gets crazier and crazier and they try to change football more and more and more. The Minnesota Gophers used to play in a dome and they said, you know what? Fuck that.
Yeah.
And they got a beautiful outdoor stadium at TCF Bank Stadium.
One of the greatest accomplishments by any program in our estimation in sports in recent history.
Them and the Seahawks. Seahawks going from that stupid kingdom to that outdoor stadium. Fantastic. I challenge, the Minnesota Vikings. I know they just got a new stadium, but that stadium sucks. I'm sorry if you're a Viking fan. I just don't agree.
When you grow up here, when you're not worried about co-hosting a Beyonce rock concert and football takes priority, then talk to us. That's what Minnesota has done. That's what the Golden Gophers,
and that's what the Big Ten should do with the Big Ten championship. You guess what? Play to your advantage. Play to your advantage. What is Big Ten football? It is smash mouth, fun, cold weather football. Get that game out of that roller rink in Indianapolis. Play it at Soldier Field, Lambeau Field, this stadium. I don't care. Switch it around. Natural. Arrowhead. I don't care. The Brown Stadium. I don't care. Switch it. Heinz. You can go all around.
Have some fun with it. Play some outdoor football.
Syracuse, take note. Yeah. Syracuse.
There's nothing more Big Ten than outdoor cold weather football. That's what you guys are supposed to be doing. It's a disgrace, really. It's a disgrace to your brand. To play your conference championship indoors.
Well, and it's your advantage. Like when New Mexico, I don't know why the college football scheduling, they got to shake that up some too. And hopefully with this new Big Ten SEC thing, but to play some of these other teams in Minnesota, take Maryland, for example. We grew up in the area.
Yeah.
It gets cold, but it doesn't get Minnesota cold.
Yeah.
So having to come there, use that as your advantage. Take notes. Come on, Syracuse.
What's the name of the stadium again?
TCF Bank Stadium. It's fantastic. Look, I used to not like them that much because they played in the dome. They got a dome, or they got rid of the dome. Now I love them. They're one of my favorite teams to watch each and every Saturday.
Opened in 2009.
Yes.
I can't say it's had a huge impact. Well, I can say it has.
What do you mean?
If you look at the 90s,
they started winning.
At the 90s, they were god awful.
That's what I'm saying.
What? Wow, one winning season in the entire 90s. Or I guess 1990 and 1999. So, yeah, it was time. You guys figured it out. 2009, you guys reopened the stadium, and since 2009,
they're a bowl team almost every year.
Mostly winning seasons, including 11 wins back in 2019.
And perhaps this could be a repeat of that, PattyC. PJ Fleck, 35 and 23 in 5 years. Roar.
I think he's found his home. What better place to row the boat than the land of 10,000 lakes?
That is true.
Minnesota.
And they are rowing that boat.
You never stop rowing a boat when there's 10,000 lakes.
35 and 23 in 5 years. And I even think throw out the COVID year, they just had to play games. They had 30 guys out. Remember?
Yeah.
They were just playing to play. It was unfair. It was unfair for I just throw that record out.
When you consider last year, right? There, let's see. Now I got to pull this up. Really wasn't that bad in terms of overall record, 9-4, but a loss to Ohio State in a game in which they had the lead before their star running back Ibrahim goes down.
Yeah,
right. A terrible loss to Bowling Green. That was very
even
bad.
That was crazy. Look, I'm gonna pull up this. That game. First off, Bowling Green was a 30.5 point underdog.
Yeah,
that's wild. But if you pull up the Bowling Green won that game, let me do the math here. Bowling Green won that game with 192 total yards.
Yeah,
that's almost unbelievable. Minnesota had 241, so they weren't setting it on fire. But Mike Sanford Jr. gone. I'm not a big Mike Sanford Jr. fan. Well, unfortunately, he went to Colorado. But
that's apparent because apparently they leaned on the run after Ibrahim went down.
Well, and I don't know if you know this, but not only Ibrahim went down, then Trey Potts went out for the year. They went 3-4 deep on that running back depth chart.
Hi, Mr. Sanford. When your best running backs go down and you have a decent cornerback, don't start running the ball more.
Yes. Throw more.
All right.
Well, that's the thing. You look back. So they go out and they hire Kirk. How do I pronounce this?
Ciarrocca. I'm guessing.
Ciarrocca. Great name.
Who had been there?
Yeah,
in 2019.
and he was. That's what I'm saying.
And they win 11-2.
I like this hire.
I looked it up in 2020 when he went to Penn State. 36th offense in the nation, despite their kind of struggles there. Still not terrible.
And I think they had offensive line problems. That's not his fault to come right into that.
Last year at West Virginia, he was only a analyst, so you can't really judge that. But he's a good coordinator.
Yeah, definitely. He's taken over an offense that was 83rd in scoring offense, 27th in rush offense, 118th in pass offense, 99th in total offense. But PattyC, I do think I see sunshine at the end of this dark tunnel here.
So 99th in total offense last year. The last time he was there in 2019, 22nd in total
I expect
offense.
them to be somewhere in the top 50 this year.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you why.
Alrighty.
Super senior quarterback Tanner Morgan is back.
Yeah.
NFL prospect, probably going to get drafted, I would assume. Running back Mohamed Ibrahim, as well as Trey Potts, both back at the running back spot.
Ibrahim was injured in the Ohio State game and missed the entire season.
Yeah,
he's a massive difference maker.
Beast,
yeah.
dude.
Yeah,
him and Potts are gonna be nasty. Both wideouts, Chris Autman-Bell and Daniel Jackson, are back. PattyC.
I believe both were 4 stars, if I'm not mistaken.
They are breaking in a new tight end, projected to be Brevin Spanford. Here's the thing you circle.
Or
though.
just Jackson was a 4-star, actually.
Well, it's funny you say that because Autman-Bell is the one that stands out to me.
I think it's Autman-Bell.
Yeah, whatever. Autumn. Yeah, it is Autman-Bell. Yeah,
Close enough.
it's autumn. All right.
It's autumn. Look, we're getting ready for autumn over
That's
here.
what I'm saying. Look, this is the thing that should make you a little nervous, though. Just one of 5 starters back on the offensive line. That's center John Michael Schmitz.
Definitely a concern.
But I think he might have patched it up. He might have patched it up a little bit. The O-line was a little bit of a problem.
Got into that portal. John Michael Schmitz, first team all conference preseason Remington Award, I guess watch list here. That's a good guy to have in the anchor of the line there in the center.
Yes, love
hopefully he patched it up. We'll talk about that in the transfer portal, I guess.
Yeah, and so Joe Rossi is the defensive coordinator. PattyC. What do you make of Joe Rossi? Because this guy was pretty damn impressive a year ago. This whole unit was. I mean, this is I was even taken back, but I knew they were good. I didn't know they were this good. 6th best scoring defense in the nation.
That's
8th best run defense in the nation. 8th best pass defense in the nation. Charting at number 3 overall in defense. PattyC. They played Ohio State
and the whole country.
Yes.
Yowzers.
I mean, that is impressive. They have 6 starters back now. Once again, line of scrimmage, kind of something you got to pay attention to. Offensively, just 1 back. On the defensive line, just 1 back as well. In defensive tackle, Trill Carter.
Trillville Carter.
Trill, is he a Bun B fan?
Yeah.
Yeah. 2 or 3 linebackers back in led by Braylon Oliver, who's a stud. 3 of 4 back in the secondary, including the return of freshman All-American a season ago, cornerback Justin Whaley.
Boom.
PattyC, the kicker and punter are back.
Some experience at the safety position. It's the trenches that worry us. The skill positions are not of concern. In fact, those are major pluses, but big question marks in the trenches on both sides of the ball.
Yeah, I mean, can they fix that? We're going to talk transfer portal. We're going to talk recruiting rankings. We're going to talk more Gopher football, maybe what Las Vegas expects and what we expect here on the College Football Experience. Remember, subscribe, tell a friend. But first, I got to get us paid. I want to tell people that the College Football Experience Minnesota Golden Gophers style is brought to you by WinBet. Bet $50 at WinBet. Get $200 in free bets. Bet big, win bigger with WinBet. Head over to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/winbet. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/winbet. WYNNBET, that is. To claim your free bets today, we're also brought to you by IPVanish. IPVanish is the official VPN of SGPN, and they're offering 70% off if you go to IPVanish.com/SGP. Once again, that is IPVanish.com/SGP. We're also brought to you by SGPN Discord. Yes, make sure to check out our new Discord server. It is the perfect place to interact and sweat out bets with the entire SGPN crew. Just go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Discord. All right, we are back talking. What's that? Row that boat.
Regarding Rossi, the previous 2 years that he had been there, 37 and 69. And obviously you mentioned up to number 3
this
past year. So he's always in the top half of the nation. And well, while they don't have everyone coming back, he's trending in the right direction. And when you get an offense, because they, like we said, they went from 99th last year, hopefully back close to where they were before.
Yeah.
You get an offense and a defense like they had in 2019. Are we going to see a resurgence under Fleck?
I do like this because Morgan, getting a second year or third year in an offense he's familiar with, I think that's always huge.
Yeah, it's going to be a fast transition to a new coordinator.
But in the transfer portal, which is so key in college football 2022, we grade this now. We used to just barely talk about it, but we got to talk about it now. Well, they went out and they got aggressive attacking. What were their needs? Offensive line, defensive line. Well, PattyC, they went out and got defensive tackle Kyler Ball from UConn. They won a national championship there in New Haven, 2020. See if you understand that joke. They also got defensive lineman Darnell Jeffries from Clemson. That guy's a stud. Clemson's just got the best defensive line in the country.
Not Darnell Jefferson from the program. Darnell Jeffries.
Shout out to the program. Rest in peace, James Conn. No, but that was a huge get. And then defensive lineman Lorenza Sugars. It might be Sugars. I'm not sure how he pronounces that, but from Vanderbilt. That is 3 guys on the defensive line. I know the one that's Jeffries is going to be an impact player right away. On the offensive line, they did a fantastic job in the portal. They added offensive lineman Chuck Falaga from Michigan. That guy's going to be a stud. Michigan's offensive line, arguably the best in the country. So they basically, coming into 2022 college football season, Michigan's known to have the best offensive line. If people, the experts are saying, even us. Clemson is known to have the best defensive line. So plucking one of their guys is a great thing to do.
Supposedly he's already turned into a locker room leader too. So.
Well, when you mix that with the Remington Steel Trophy,
there you go. Remington microblade, lift and cut system.
Yes. No, but also they went out and, in my opinion, one of the better offensive line institutions of late has been the Notre Dame Fighting Irish.
Oh yeah,
they've just been pumping out pros over the past decade. So they get offensive tackle Quinn Carroll from Notre Dame. PattyC, those are big gets. Aside from that, they added a kicker and Jacob Lewis from Ball State for some depth in the kicking game. They did miss some field goals last year, and they got 2 corners. They went out and got Shannon Bishop from Western Kentucky and cornerback Ryan Stapp from Abilene Christian.
That's true. 17 of 25 in field goals. Maybe improving on that could lead to a couple more close wins instead of losses.
Now I got to key in on what they lost. They did lose offensive lineman Austin Byer to the portal, wide receiver Jonathan Mann to the portal, cornerback Solomon Brown to the Buffalo Bulls, wide receiver Brock Annexstad to the portal, Douglas Emilian to Kansas, the Jayhawks. Running back Marquise Irving is a 4-star to the Oregon Ducks. That was a huge loss, I think. But I mean, they have depth. He wasn't getting burned, so he had to go elsewhere. They lost wide receiver Peter, I don't know how to pronounce, Adoybook to Northern Iowa. They lost linebacker Jaquandis Burns to SMU. Linebacker Ty Barron to the portal. Wide receiver Namdi Adimin Mudemere to Central Arkansas.
I'm impressed.
Running back Kai Thomas to the Kansas Jayhawks. Kicker Michael Lance to Georgia Southern. And wide receiver Brady Boyd to Texas Tech. Offensive tackle Saya Makapakatolo to the portal.
Before our very eyes, Colby is becoming a linguistic expert.
Yes. Tight end Austin Henderson to the Liberty Flames. Quarterback Zach Annexstad to the Louisville Cardinals, and wide receiver Dylan McGill to Pittsburgh State.
I gotta look and see how many players like each team at the FBS level has on scholarship at this point, because it finally showed up on one of our more recent previews where it's like, oh, we found out they're missing like 25 scholarship players in the spring, because everyone's in the portal and they didn't replace them. And here's another team that brought in 8 players, and it seems like they lost 20.
I'm not even done. Linebacker James Gordon went to USF. Quarterback Jacob Clark to Missouri State with Bobby Roadrash face Petrino. Defensive lineman Rashad Chaney to South Florida. Defensive lineman MJ Anderson to Iowa State. Running back Cameron Wiley to the Akron Zips, and offensive lineman Curtis Dunlap to Rutgers.
Dude, I would want to quit as a coach too if this happened. Like half the players I've been training for the last year are like, I'm out.
I still think they won the portal.
Let me see how they finished in the rankings there in the portal. Actually, you're right. Nationally, 42nd overall, which I guess is kind of similar to where they recruit at. So 6th within the conference, which is better than what they recruit at. So
I just think I get it. Like they lost a shit ton of players, and some of those guys, depth wise, I know the running backs. A couple of those guys were pretty decent running backs, but I still believe bringing in that help at offensive line, Falaga, Carroll, I think will be starters. I think Darnell Jeffries will be a starter. Wouldn't be surprised if Sugars was a starter.
I like that they got a UConn, a Michigan, a Notre Dame, a Vandy guy. Fleck, pursuing academic institutions. He's building culture there. I mean, Clemson, sure. Clemson's part of that too. But I think that's on brand with what Fleck's doing. Maybe it's me buying into that suit and tie and that rowing that boat. But I do think there's something there to that.
Well, I can tell you this, buddy. Let's talk to me about recruiting in general.
Oh, let me pull that down. Last 5 years, 38, 49, 39, 39, and 53. When did Fleck get there again?
5 years ago. He's in year 5.
Okay. So kind of the last, they're very consistent. Within the conference, that's been good for 7, 10, 9, 8, but wow, dead last in recruiting within the conference this past cycle at 53, which is crazy. 4-year composite has hovered between 48 and 44 for the last 4 cycles, and 10 to 11 in the conference. So they're not that talented.
He wins games. He wins games.
Who
buddy.
Reminds me a lot of
Matt Campbell.
Yeah. It's like, they're next door neighbors, so it helps, but like
they both were in the MAC.
Yeah. That
Toledo
too.
and Western Michigan.
And they get good guys at quarterback and at running back, and their offenses are effective.
I agree. So
they
if
get playmakers.
Yeah. If you're watching on YouTube, you see the sweet ass graphic here. Shout out to the SGPN graphics team. Those lovable son of a guns doing the Lord's work over here. Vegas is expecting 7.5 wins.
Real quick, two recruiting nuggets. 2 4-stars projected as starters. 2020 wide receiver Daniel Jackson, 4-star wide receiver, and defensive lineman from 2021 Devin Easterling. So guys that may have a little more draft potential.
Yeah.
Look out.
Look out. Certainly. I don't know, man.
Eastern, not Easterling. Eastern. Sorry.
But I kind of expect them to be pretty good this year. I don't care about the recruiting rankings here. I think they're going to be contenders to win the Big Ten West. 7.5 is the number though in Las Vegas. The under is at -120. The over is at +100, meaning that Vegas kind of leaning to a 7-5 season. PattyC. I disagree. Blindly without looking at the schedule. I disagree because I think getting Morgan back on the offense that he knows, and that getting healthy at running back, and those key portal pickups, I think this team might be a little bit better.
Losing as much as they have in the trenches is a concern, but their last 2 non-COVID seasons were what, 10-2 and 8-4.
How about the fact they don't get Ohio State or Michigan?
That's true.
That
they did have to deal with
last year. They had to play Ohio State last year. Instead, they get Michigan State, Penn State, and Rutgers, which it's still tough. 2 or 3 of those on the road.
Whereas last year they had Ohio State out of the East, Maryland, and is it Indiana's East, right?
Yeah.
So you might even say it's a little tougher though, because they're probably going to be favored in 1 out of 3 this year, whereas they were probably favored in 2 out of 3 last year.
Well, 1 was a clear-cut loss last year.
I do think they can beat Penn State.
Yeah, I think they could. We'll see. It is in a tricky spot. Let's get to it because week 1, Thursday, September 1st. I can't wait. God's eye will be rocking PattyC. And
you can't wait for this game.
I really can't. You know why, right?
Oh, you're right.
Yeah. And how about this? You're throwing shade at the the greatest mascot in college sports in New Mexico State.
I'm not throwing shade at their mascot. I'm throwing the shade at the competitiveness.
What
of
if I
this game.
told you they played twice in the past decade and it's 1-1? Yes, the Aggies back in 2011 won 28-21 in Minneapolis.
Boats weren't being rowed back then.
That's true. They did row a boat into Minneapolis in 2018, and Fleck won 48-10. So who knows? But Jerry Kill is the head coach of the Aggies.
You may recall
He had some statements regarding Minnesota
PJ
not
Fleck.
keeping Tracy Clay as his guy, and then had some shots at PJ Fleck. Sign me up for a coach feud anytime.
What did he say? Fleck? What he said? Fleck was a me guy, right?
Yeah, he said he was like a car salesman or something. I don't know,
Which
but
I get. Look, I think Fleck is like a young hotshot, kind of like obsessive compulsive type, which comes across as like a me. I
think that's what you need to coach in college football these days. First off, name me a college football coach that isn't a narcissist.
Yeah. A. Yeah. And then B, I think the fact that he is cut out for that job in particular, I think the parts of his personality that might rub him the wrong way on a fan base that's overly scrutinizing him, he can get away with that in Minnesota and be himself and, really, really succeed because of those characteristics that are good.
Well, I can tell you this: Fleck's going to row the boat through Jerry Kill. As much as I like Jerry Kill, and I'm hoping this Aggie program in Las Cruces is going to get up because I do like them being good. They're going to be 1-0. That's another thing. The out of conference schedule last year, they had 2 MAC schools and a road trip to Boulder. This year, all 3 games in Huntington Bank Stadium in Minneapolis, and they got an FCS opponent as instead of one of those MAC schools, because last year one of those MAC schools did beat you. PattyC, I got him 1-0. You?
I got him 1-0.
Well, week 2, the Western Illinois Leathernecks. Man, you go from that sweet ass New Mexico State mascot with the guns blazing to the Leathernecks. They're gonna be 2-0, but these names, Leathernecks are great name.
One of the
great
best
name.
names in football history.
They need to jump up just on that name.
Yeah, I'll throw them all my money.
So 2-0.
Yep.
Then Mike Samford, who was the OC last year, he caught a job in Boulder.
Oh boy.
Does he have a little inside intel on how to shut down Tanner Morgan? I highly doubt it.
How to shut down that defense? I don't think so.
I don't think so
we
either.
said 99th offense and number 3 defense.
So I'm going to take Minnesota to be 3-0.
I wonder what practices look like at Minnesota last year. The ball just never moved. Pick 6 every other play.
PattyC, I got him 3-0. You?
3-0.
So all you need is 5 more wins, right? We just did the Michigan State preview. Go listen to it. I was caught up on this game being a 50-50 game.
Yeah.
For the sake of that, I said I took Michigan State, but I said like this is a 50-50 game to me. And the fact that Michigan State's traveling back from Seattle that week, I think it's a great spot for PJ Fleck to pull the upset.
Easily possible.
Especially they had the 130th worst pass defense last year, and Tanner Morgan.
Yeah.
If they don't have that fixed, but I did the Michigan State show, and I said Michigan State toss up game 50-50, but I went Michigan State. So give me 3-1 through the month of September.
And you know what we do here? We take 50-50 games and we kind of compile them over the course of several weeks or the entire season. And we say, okay, we're not going, okay, this team has a 51% chance of winning 3 games, so therefore they're going to win all 3. We say no, they'll probably go 2-1 or 1-2 even in that stretch.
So I got them 3-1 in September. You?
3-1.
I think there's a great chance they're 4-0.
Decent chance, solid chance.
They come home to take on the Boilermakers. Boil it up. PattyC,
Dangerous.
I think Minnesota beats them this year.
I agree.
So
what was that score last year? They beat them 20-13 in West Lafayette, Indiana last year. So good things coming back to Minneapolis here.
4-1. Can you imagine a scenario right now where they're 5-0? They get a bye.
And then
they play at Illinois, which I do think they're better than Illinois.
Yeah.
And I think that defense should shut down Illinois.
Yeah, they're a step ahead.
So imagine a scenario here where they're 6-0 heading to Happy Valley. I do think they will lose that if they are 6-0. And regardless, I'm going to take Penn State here.
Let me tell you what, though. Penn State coming off an emotional road trip to Michigan.
Ooh,
potential letdown
nice spot
for the Nittany Lions.
Nice spot. I got them. So after Saturday, October 22nd, PattyC.
Yeah,
I got them at 5-2, and I think there's a great chance they're 6-1.
That's where I got them, 5-2.
Then they're home to Rutgers.
That's
6-2.
Yeah.
All we need is 2 wins now. They travel to Lincoln, Nebraska to take on the Cornhuskers.
Where it gets tough.
Yeah, the Cornhuskers. They're 3-9 last year. Mark Whipple. I know Pat Narduzzi had some comments at ACC Media Day regarding Mark Whipple.
This gets really tough here. What did Narduzzi? Oh yeah, he's like, you know what's stupid about Narduzzi though? Apparently a lot because he keeps putting his foot in his mouth.
Clock management in Happy Valley.
Yeah.
There's a lot
among other things.
Yeah.
But shitting on your offensive coordinator that
just won the ACC.
Yeah, just gave you your best record ever,
and the first quarterback drafted, and almost a Heisman.
Yeah, maybe chill on that.
Did he win the Heisman?
No,
Bryce Young.
But he won.
He was nominated.
Johnny Unitas Golden Arm Award for, I guess, senior quarterback.
PattyC, I'm gonna say this. Man, they could beat Nebraska, but they could also lose to Nebraska.
Yeah, I'm gonna put that on a 50-50.
No,
game.
I gave Michigan State and Penn State wins against them. I think they beat Nebraska.
All right.
So what does that put me at then? What 1, 2, 3,
7 and
4,
2?
5, 6, 7. Yeah. So therefore, I need one more win. They host Northwestern in Iowa.
That's a win.
I think win against Northwestern.
Yeah.
What about the Iowa game? Because Iowa's owned them lately.
It's really hard to say if I think they're going to get 1 out of the last 4 or 2 out of the last 4, which is the difference between the over and the under.
For me, the Northwestern game cashes the over
because you got them beating Nebraska.
Yes. Well, I think between Nebraska, Penn State, and Michigan State, they'll get 1. I don't think this team's going winless on the road here.
You might be right. So you got them 7 and
8.
2.
8 now.
Oh, you got them 8 and wait, but prior to the Northwestern game, you got them 7 and 2 going in their last 3 games.
Yeah.
And I'm saying maybe with the loss in Nebraska, but I think they're better than Nebraska. The road spot is a little bit of a tough spot. Yeah. But the O-line, I don't know that like
I said, it might not be the Nebraska game. It might be the Michigan State game. It might be the Penn State game.
I think you're right. Between at Michigan State, at Penn State, at Nebraska, and then hosting Northwestern, hosting Iowa, and hosting or going to Wisconsin, I bet they can get 2 of those 6. That's the over.
I'm on the over. They end the season at Wisconsin. I think they lose. Yeah, I think 8-4.
Just like
that's
last year.
why I'm not rushing. I wouldn't rush to bet this one if I were you. Even though I do like what they have, I do think it is an over, but I don't think it's an over by that much. So
yeah, I mean, where are the real?
I feel like the numbers are accurate. I mean, to be honest with you, though, what is the game they're going to be the flat out underdog in? Wisconsin and Penn State, right?
Yeah, probably at Wisconsin and at Penn State.
Okay, yeah.
At Michigan State after last year seems like they would be a
not if Michigan State
dog.
Gets housed by Washington the week before though. If that happened,
that would be a big if. But I mean, not that big of an if. But they could have their hands full. Either way, that would still only be 3. I guess hosting Iowa is
I think they're going to go 8-4.
game.
They're going to go 8-4 this year.
8-4 sounds about right. But with Fleck, and bringing back Ciarrocca and Rossi still being there to lead that defense, maybe can we give me a best case scenario for this team?
Best case scenario, I think you can paint a 10 or 11 win season with the bowl game.
I agree.
I think they could do. I mean, look, I think it's very possible that they are 6-0 heading into Happy Valley.
Yeah.
And imagine if Penn State did knock off Michigan, then you would have a huge letdown spot the very next week hosting the Gophers.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Either way, they can take a painful loss to Michigan, or they can beat Michigan in a huge game. The letdown spot is there. Let me tell you this.
But I do think they could also lose at Nebraska. Nebraska's kind of an enigma this year.
Yeah, Nebraska can win everything or lose everything, just like they always do, by 1 touchdown or less. Tanner Morgan, the last time Kirk Ciarrocca was there, 3,200 passing yards, 10.2 yards or 11.1 adjusted yards per attempt, 30 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. This past year, only 2,000 passing yards, 7.4 adjusted yards per attempt, 10 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. Massive drop off. I want to pull up one more stat. I haven't looked at it yet, but
let me ask you this: where do you put him? Like, if you're listening to quarterbacks in the Big Ten, CJ Stroud, I imagine, would be number 1.
Sure.
After that, I mean, where would you put Tanner Morgan? I mean, I know you got Aiden O'Connell at Purdue.
To, Tanner Morgan's or CJ Stroud's level. I mean, it's not a slight on CJ Stroud. I just think that offense is going to go when you have those many weapons around you. Like, it's kind of plug and play at Ohio State at quarterback over the past decade as far as elite production. I mean, look, freaking what's his name was a third stringer with a weak experience, and he won in the national championship.
Yeah, Cardale Jones. Tolia Tagliavoa. You know, those
are all good quarterbacks. There's actually some decent quarterback play, but you call Tanner Morgan a lawn chair. I say he's actually got some mobility to him.
He's not a true lawn. He's a little bit of a lawn chair.
A little bit of a lawn chair.
A little bit of lawn chair.
I think you're throwing some unnecessary.
Well, he's good. What are you talking about?
Wait,
you're thinking of me saying Brock Purdy.
Oh, you're right.
I don't even know that I ever called Tanner Morgan a lawn chair. He's got a little bit of it though, but
maybe you're right. Maybe I was thinking of Purdy. Let me see. Ibrahim. Why is his okay? Mohamed.
Well, he was injured last year.
I know. I just want to pull up his stats. In 2020 or 2018, he had 1,000 or 1,100, almost 1,200 rushing yards.
He's a beast.
2020, he had 1,000 rushing yards.
He was slicing and dicing Ohio State.
He's got over 3,000 rushing yards in his career. That's a huge guy to get back.
I agree.
They're so similar to Ohio State. Ibrahim even reminds me of like Breece Hall. You know,
the Iowa State, not
Iowa State.
Yeah. Folks, subscribe to the College Football Experience. I'm on the over. He's on the over. Any place you listen to podcast at, come on. Remember to subscribe on YouTube as well. Throw this thing up on the TV. All right, get the fire going. All right, call it a romantic night with the wife. All right,
come on.
And also remember, subscribe to the College Basketball Experience. Ben Johnson doing a hell of a good job. And I get it. Year 1 didn't make the tournament, but I saw signs of life. I like the Ben Johnson hire. We're going to be talking a lot more. We talk college hoops year round. We handicap every single Division I college football and college basketball game. So just stay tuned. Stay tuned. Even if you're a St. Thomas fan, we got you covered there too.
Mo, I feel like there's a sound drop from Tommy Lee Jones that we need to be.
Oh man, how did I miss that one? How did I miss that one, PattyC?
I mean, when it comes to the 2020 season or 2022 season,
we gotta go for.
Hello.
We gotta go for. Shout out to Tommy Lee Jones in The Fugitive. Well, folks, also check out all of our other platforms. All right, the Sports Gambling Podcast. They're already doing NFL. They're going team by team in the NFL. All right, check it out. We just had Pat McAfee on the show, Mike Leach on the show. I can go on and on and on. All right, but the NFL futures. All right, they're breaking down each and every NFL team there are. So Vikings fans, check that out. NFC North fans, they just did the Lions. They did the Bears. Check it out. Check out all of our podcasts also. I mean, we just have a fantastic, the whole family is pretty fantastic, I must say. From the USFL Gambling Podcast, which we host, to the CFL Gambling Podcast, which Rod Villa Gomez. How about the NBA Gambling Podcast? Some Timberwolves fans out there, check it out. What else, PattyC? What else Minnesota wise? What are they?
We need to get the Frozen Four going.
There we go. We do need to get that going. The Golf Gambling Podcast, check out that. You get the SGPN app, you'll have access to all of that good fun. So grab that and then, let it ride, people. All right. I'm on the over. He's on the over. This is the College Football Experience, Minnesota Golden Gopher style. You better start thinking about yours. And we out of here.